Welcome to another episode of Humanitarian Horizons, Christina DiArcangelo Unveiled. Today, I want to talk about the Los Angeles wildfires, arson, and government failures. I'm hoping in our short segment that we will be able to uncover the truth behind the crisis, expose the failures, and highlight those fighting for justice. Today, we're talking about the devastating wildfires that have ravished Los Angeles and the area surrounding LA. The fires weren't just fueled by dry conditions, but by something far worse, arson and government neglect. While families fled their homes, the leaders of California were missing in action, literally. California Governor Gavin Newsom allegedly restricted water access, while the LA Mayor Karen Bass wasn't even there when the fires started. She was in Ghana while her city started to burn down. Let's break down what happened and why leadership failed and what needs to be done now. Wildfires have always been part of California's reality, but this time, at least two fires were intentionally set. Arsonists were arrested, people who deliberately sparked the destruction, costing lives, animals, wildlife, and displacing thousands. Over 6,800 homes and structures were lost. At least 12 people are dead, and thousands more are without power, shelter, or basic resources like their medicine, for example. This wasn't just nature at work. Some of this was very criminal. And yet, as firefighters risked their lives, state leadership made it harder to fight the flames. So let's talk about Gavin Newsom. As fires raged on, reports emerged that Governor Gavin Newsom restricted water access to fire response teams, citing environmental regulations. I know that I actually read articles where firefighters from Arizona were trying to come in across the border of California with tankers with 400 gallons of water that they wanted to donate to help fight the fires, and they were turned away. Think about that. While first responders needed every drop of water to fight the flames, bureaucratic, red tape, left-wing Democrats took priority over human lives. Firefighters were reportedly struggling with low water pressure, leaving them unable to combat the infernos effectively. As this wasn't the first time Newsom has faced scrutiny over California's wildfire mismanagement, billions of dollars had been allocated for fire prevention, yet year after year, the state still burns. When will this leadership start prioritizing lives over politics? Because that's what this was here. In my opinion, it was over politics. And where was the mayor? Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, whose job is literally to lead the city, wasn't even there when the fires erupted. She was in Ghana. While thousands of LA people were running for their lives, their mayor was overseas. Leadership means being present in a crisis. Can you imagine if Giuliani had left New York during 9/11? Regardless of what happened to Giuliani after he left as mayor in New York, I don't want to get into that rabbit hole. However, he handled things the appropriate way. He took control. What happens if governors fled every time there was a national disaster? Look at Florida. DeSantis is always ready to go. He makes sure that his state is ready for all the weather issues that they have there. Not being prepared is truly unacceptable. This raises serious concerns. Who is making these emergency decisions? Who is advocating for the people of LA and the animals and wildlife? In contrast, President Trump called for immediate federal action and a full resource allocation to wildfire victims. He visited LA he met with displaced families, and he criticized the state leadership for their mishandling of this disaster. Trump also directed that FEMA prioritize the wildfire victims, pushing for a streamlined aid and distribution. But the question is, will the government actually follow through? Or will they continue to push their political agendas? As we all know, California primarily is a blue state. Trump is obviously a Republican. Will the California leadership continue to slow the recovery process? This isn't just about a natural disaster response anymore. It's about accountability. Why was the mayor absent? Why was the water restricted? Why wasn't there better fire prevention measures in place? What about the police? There have been all these crimes that have been occurring because people are looting now that people are displaced from their homes, and they don't have enough police officers in the city of LA to handle that. Rebuilding is going to take years, but change needs to happen now to prevent another disaster like this. The wildfires may be dying down, but the fight for justice is just beginning. We must, as U.S. citizens, demand better leadership, better emergency response, and accountability for the failures that cost lives. This is Humanitarian Horizons, Christina DiArcangelo. Stay tuned in, because I'm sure we will shoot another episode about this very topic. Thank you.